them at the time that they think they can meet. So that schedule is paid off gradually, and should hit a few bumps in the road, maybe some circumstances change, then we should sit down with the buyer and try and rearrange the schedule that can work for everybody.
Okay, so did you identify a specific gap in the industry that you thought that, okay, fine, there is mortgage, home ownership, but then now we can come in and give people an alternative to this? What kind of gap did you identify?
Well, looking at the traditional mortgage product here, it's starting from the appraisal, where the mortgage house goes through appraising the applicant, then the pre-qualification, the documentation costs, the high interest costs, which can really make the repayments huge. Sometimes there's inflexibility, where if the buyer wants to repay early or reschedule payments, it's a big deal, and they can be penalised for that. The mortgage product also, if there's any defaulters within that mortgage system, the buyer of our house pays for that default, which seems a bit unfair. So all of these things add to the mortgage cost, and we identified a gap in the market where people with perhaps no bank account but reasonable income and cash flow can take advantage of the BOLT scheme.
All right. Now, with this new way of owning a home, who are your target market at the moment?
Business owners, contractors, anybody that's got sufficient means over a long term, say 3 years, to repay the house. And really they're repaying for the house, they're not paying so much over and above. You know, to give an example, a maisonette that we're selling today at 13.5 for cash, under mortgage for 3 years, the buyer would repay something like 19.8 million at 15%. Under the BOLT scheme, they pay 14.7. So there's 4 or 5 million shillings savings in that, which we think will be hugely attractive.
All right. And do you think that this is a market or a niche that you've identified that you think is going to grow across board? Because to date, even taking mortgages for some Kenyans is quite, you know, the no-go area for some, because they think, okay, if I take on this, it's more like a home trap. You know, I'll forever be paying for this until, you know, forever. So do you think that maybe the industry in Kenya is very adaptive to this kind of home ownership system?
I think that others will follow the lead, you know, assuming that we're going to have an uptake and be successful. Then it's an innovative scheme which is simple and easy to replicate. You know, we don't have the copyright on this, so I would imagine that if it's successful, others will jump on the bandwagon, and that will perhaps put some pressure on the mortgage houses and banks to, you know, be more efficient perhaps and reduce their spread and make the cost of mortgages lower. So we hope that it helps everybody in the long run. Okay.
When you look at the Kenyan market and compared maybe to the other market out there, I would say for instance in Scotland or in Britain, do you think that we are on the right track at the moment?
Yeah, I think there's great strides been made. You know, since we started in business here, the standard of houses has gone up immensely, and the buyers have become a lot more selective and demanding about what they want. So it's a maturing market, and there's signs of great strides forward. In terms of the mortgages, you know, just by way of contrast, in the UK, the total mortgage market is worth around 50% of the country's GDP, whereas in Kenya it's less than 5%. So mortgages really haven't taken off in this country, I think, for the very reasons you mentioned. You know, they can become a millstone, and if interest rates go up, then people are in danger of losing their house, which is a terrible thing.
All right. Tell me about, you know, the demand so far. Do you already have demand for this, or is this something that is new to Kenyans, and so you are inviting people to come in and take them up?
Well, we just launched at 9:30 this morning, so I'm not sure how many people have taken it up so far, but we're optimistic that we'll be having demand from today onwards.
All right. So what if along the way somebody's cash flow, you know, is not consistent? What happens? Are there any other options they can explore for them to not lose the house, or for you not to repossess the house?
Yeah, well, you know, after some months, if they've been paying according to the schedule and they miss a payment, then, you know, they'll get a yellow card, and then if it happens again, they'll get another yellow card before they get a red card, so to speak. But if they've had a good payment record then we sit round the table and we say, how can we sort this out to your advantage and that works for us? You know, because we're in the business of selling homes and not disappointing people.
All right. Is this specifically for homeowners, or it's also for office space?
It's only homeowners, yeah. Our business is 100% homes at the moment.
Okay. And your presence is just new in Kenya. Do you think of expanding to other East African countries?
We're looking at it, but before that we'll look at another project or two within Kenya and then think about going further afield.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. And we've been speaking to Ian Henderson, who is the Managing Director for Superior Homes Kenya, talking to us about owning a home without necessarily, you know, taking a mortgage or going out there to take a loan and saying, look, I'm going to build this house. But they give you the opportunity to own it with your cash flow. And when that doesn't work out, you can explore options. They give you 2 yellow cards before you can get a red one. That is before they can repossess the house back. But thank you so much. We do appreciate the time taken to come explain this to us. And now let's take a look at other stories. But that's going to be after these messages, so don't go too far.
Ni Francis Ontomwa nikiwa Mombasa na hii ni KTN News.
They are virtually the country's most trusted men and women, confident and powerful advisors. They are highly placed aides in the hierarchy, and when big decisions are made to change the course of history, they are always there. And a simple misjudgment could sink the entire nation. They are the people the presidents turn to transform plans into action and keep the enemies at bay. That's behind power.
We were asked to lie on our stomachs on that hot matter, nude.
I personally, as a headmaster of the school, Wakala Primary School, plus 5 of my teachers were taken to the airstrip there, Wakala.
And when the military poured in, that was the end of normalcy now.
This was my class in the Standard 7, the year before the massacre.
Askari 3 anafukusa mimi. Ikifukuzwa moja akafata mimi. Hiyo moja akafanya mimi rape.
Kufika saa 7 hakuna mwanaume mmoja hata kidogo. Askari saa hiyo au kuanza vituko ya kina mama. Wanaangalia kina mama hivi wanasema leo ingawa hata tumerokota wanaume yenu, mko hawezi kosa wanaume. Mtapata tu wanaume, sisi ndo wanaume yenu.
Welcome back. This is Business Today, and we'll now look at other stories from across or beyond Kenya. And Sub-Saharan Africa's first modern tramway opened in the Ethiopian capital Addis Ababa on Sunday, marking the completion of a massive Chinese-funded infrastructure project.
Sub-Saharan Africa's first modern tramway opened in the Ethiopian capital on Sunday, marking the completion of a massive Chinese-funded infrastructure project hailed as a major step in the country's economic development. Even before the ribbon was cut, several hundred residents were queuing for a ride on the Chinese-driven trams, which can carry 60,000 passengers a day across the capital of Africa's second most populous nation. The two-line 34-kilometer system was built by the China Railway Engineering Corporation, costing $475 million, 85% of which has been covered by China's Exim Bank. Currently working in a cafe in the city center, he said the tram will cut his daily commute from 1 hour to just 20 minutes. So far, only the north-south line is open, with the east-west line due to open next month. The tramway is designed to relieve the mounting strain on the city's roads, where currently public transport for the 5 million and growing population has consisted of buses and so-called blue donkeys, a network of cramped, polluting minibuses. Ticket prices have also been set at the low at an accessible rate of not more than 30 cents. The light rail has been hailed as a milestone in fast-growing but impoverished Ethiopia's development and part of a cluster of major infrastructure projects, most of them also Chinese-funded. That included railway lines, motorways and dams. The project is also a symbol of China's continued strong economy presence on the commodity-rich African continent. Beijing even built the $200 million Africa Union headquarters in Addis Ababa in 2012 as a gift expressing friendship to the African people. Ethiopia's Transport Minister Workneh Gebeyu said the tramway project would also boost Ethiopia's bid to make the city already the seat of the African Union, the undisputed continental hub.
Very modern light railway, which will be serve the capital of Ethiopia.
Authorities have also promised the scheme will not be set by power cuts, with a separate power grid set up to feed the lines.
And that is setting the pace for Sub-Saharan Africa. Hopefully we can have one in Kenya very soon that cuts across countries, Uganda, Rwanda, Tanzania. But now, today being a Tuesday, it's that time where we talk about technology and innovation and some of the big things that we are doing in regard to innovating better, innovating more, and what kind of support we are getting from the industry. And joining us now to discuss more about innovation and technology is the Chief Executive Officer for Airtel Kenya, Adil El-Yousefi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Did I say your names right?
Absolutely. You're getting better at it.
I'm getting better by the day. So, you know, we've heard you here before, but I think now would like to have a conversation regarding technology and innovation. And so Airtel previously has supported innovations like Innov Kenya. How has that gone for you? What do you think of technology for young entrepreneurs in Kenya today?
Well, you know, we operate in the ICT sector, right? So we're all about technology, we're all about new ideas and new ventures. And it's very important for us to be in touch, right, with all these young, you know, geniuses, young entrepreneurs that have ideas that are relevant to Kenyan consumers and that are relevant to us. So Innov Kenya and many other initiatives that we have run over the last few months are there to make sure that we keep in touch with what's going on with the ecosystem around the ICT industry, around the mobile industry, so that we stay relevant to our Kenyan consumers.
All right. And in staying relevant to your customers, what do you think of the digital space here in Kenya today? Because maybe we are developing technologies that are not for our own local market. Maybe we're developing them for the international market. What do you so far think of the technologies developed so far?
Well, well, obviously you have all the spectrum there in terms of what's developed, right? I believe when an entrepreneur, when someone brings an idea, they have some sort of projection on who are the customers that will take up that product or that service, but then maybe surprises come and maybe other markets are more interested. What we have seen so far is that we are very happy with the ideas that come in through. For example, we have launched a program called Grow My Hassle, whereby actually Airtel is supporting young entrepreneurs showcase their ventures online and on the media. So we had over 200 entries where people are telling us what they're planning to do, what is their business plans, etc. And we're selecting the top ones, which we will actually put online on the media so that we can promote them. We have also launched a program called Faces of Kenya, where we're trying to get people who are trying to showcase Kenyans around the country, showcase their stories, showcase what they're doing for their communities, and we're giving them a platform to actually present that. So
are those startups?
Yes, absolutely. Those are two. These are several startups, right, that come through these two programs that we have launched, and Kenyans, as we all know, are extremely entrepreneurs in what they're doing, and we're very pleased with the kind of ideas we are seeing.
All right. So we have a lot of young techies, I should say, across all the universities, in Kenya and beyond. And there's some technologies that maybe have gotten international credit that are built in Kenya. But are there specific ones that you have supported already, that have already been built, that have been supported by Airtel Kenya?
Well, for example, we have a program what we call we've been very active on music, right? It's a bit maybe not related directly to technology, but for us is ensuring that we are relevant to our target customers.
All right. So why the need to get into music and not so big in technology?
Well, it depends basically on the ideas that entrepreneurs come, right? I mean, we're obviously open to partner with people who have an idea that can be grown, that can be relevant to us, right? So, so the example of music is that we try to actually give a platform to young musicians who have ideas on how to bring music differently into the audience in Kenya. We have a program called Airtel Jam Sessions, whereby they use obviously technology, a studio that we have equipped for them, and they come and they present themselves on the scene for Kenyans. But that being said, we're extremely open, right, through these different programs, Airtel Jam Sessions, Faces of Kenya, Grow My Hassle, and you can all find these on our website or the hashtags on Twitter, and people can apply. And we're more than happy, right, to support any idea, again, that is relevant to the Kenyan consumer, be it on the ICT sector or be it in other sectors like music or photography.
All right, and as a key player in the telecom industry, knowing that we are specifically talking about innovations, what kind of innovations do you look to invest in or even to encourage? What specific ones are you looking at today? Because Airtel is one of the biggest or largest telecoms we have across the African continent. So are there specific technologies you're looking to encourage young techpreneurs to get into?
Absolutely. We're obviously extremely interested in partnering with anyone who has innovation related to our products and services. So obviously mobile operators are all about internet, are all about mobile money here in Kenya and some other parts of Africa, are all about bringing convenience to consumers through their mobile phones. So mobile money is obviously an example. For example, we have launched insurance services, and we were the first to launch this in Kenya, whereby for free our customers get access to insurance. And this is an innovation that we have taken right from other countries where young, innovative people have decided, insurance can come through the mobile phone. So anything that can bring convenience, that can bring relevance to Kenyan consumers through the mobile phone, we are more interested in talking to you, so please reach out to us.
All right. And are you very welcoming when it comes to technology or innovators that we have across Kenya, not just the ones into startups, but we have, I think, a lot of technology academies here in Kenya, and maybe they kind of tend to lack ways to get through the right channels when they have technologies that they want to present. Is there maybe a store where you maybe you are in support with a certain company to allow maybe most of their softwares get online, most of the applications get online? Is there any sort of consideration for them?
Absolutely, and I feel, right, for these young students or young entrepreneurs, maybe it's sometimes daunting, right, or very difficult to open doors, or maybe they're afraid that their idea would be copied, as we have seen in the past, right, and you know, some cases we have seen on the newspapers, people getting copied, etc. We can assure you know, our Kenyan consumers that they don't have anything to fear about Airtel. Our doors are open. We have an email called innovations@ke.airtel.com, or they can send me personally an email, or send an email to Airtel, or go on our Facebook, Twitter, and feeds, and share their ideas. We are more than happy to welcome them and consider their ideas. We have platforms, as I said, and I gave examples of again, Grow My Hustle, Faces of Kenya, jam sessions, etc., where we can actually give them a platform to showcase what they have, and if they have something that is again relevant to Kenyan consumers that can be delivered through the mobile phone, we can take that partnership even further.
Interesting. So in case you are watching and you are a techpreneur, you just might want to consider paying a visit to Airtel Kenya and explain to them what it is that you've developed, any technology that there is. But before I let you go, I would also like for us to talk about the Kenyan market and get your perspective, because Airtel, I think, has been, you know, having a bit of a problem with the Communications Authority of Kenya when it comes to the issue of dominance and all that. But then, do you think that the Kenyan market is a peculiar market? From where you sit, that when Kenyans set their mind on doing something a certain way, they're going to stick to that forever?
Well, I don't think that's something that's only peculiar to Kenyans, right? I mean, we are humans are as we call people of habits, right? So we like our habits, we like things that we do in an automatic manner, things that we are accustomed to. But I think also as humans, we know that change is good.
Yes.
Change brings development. Change brings new horizons. Change brings exciting things, right? So yes, maybe habits, and Kenyans are no different than any other people around Africa or on the continent, on planet Earth, right? In terms of being comfortable with habits. But I think if Kenyans want to look at Airtel and want to take a chance with Airtel or what other smaller providers, I think they will be delighted that they've taken that chance, because again, change brings better things.
Change brings better things, and there's no better way to end it than that. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much
and
for having me.
we do appreciate. Hope to host you again sometime soon.
Anytime.
With Grow Your Hustle, as well as, you know, is it something about the jam?
Airtel Jam Sessions and